Golf drama continues. A key sponsor is pleading with the PGA and DP World Tours to cooperate with the Saudi-sponsored LIV Golf Series. The golfing world has been ripped apart since 2022, with famous names choosing sides. Makes us think, is the future of the sport in danger? Stay with us as we give you all the details on the controversies surrounding LIV Golf. Starting with, LIV and PGA continue to butt heads. They're saying a TV agreement is on the horizon after the inaugural events of Greg Norman's upcoming LIV Golf Series were streamed on YouTube. But the question is, will it go smoothly? In 2022, the golf industry was shattered in half as some of its most recognizable figures, such as Open champion Cameron Smith, Phil Mickelson, Dustin Johnson, and Brooks Koepka, joined the Rebels. As Johnson, Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau, and most recently, Smith joined the LIV Golf Series, the dam wall crumbled following initial rumors that only golfers over the hill were considering quitting the major tours. In response, Jay Monahan, commissioner of the US PGA Tour, issued suspensions and declared them ineligible to compete in the President's Cup last week. Keith Pelley, Monahan's counterpart at the DP World Tour, won't impose any sanctions until February. While Norman claims he no longer has any interest in meeting the administrator, Monahan won't even consider talking to him. Pelley, on the other hand, has stated that he would only consider collaboration with the LIV Series, which is funded by Saudi Arabia, provided they served as a sponsor inside the sports ecosystem. Now, what attempts are being made for resolution? Johan Rupert, who has contributed more than $100 million to the sport over the course of 4 decades, isn't happy with any of this. As chairman of the multi-billion-dollar Swiss luxury goods manufacturer Richemont, Rupert is the first significant sponsor to demand that the various tours hold peace negotiations with LIV Golf in order to put an end to the sport's civil war. The call, which comes ahead of this week's Dunhill Links Championship at St Andrews, Kingsbarns, and Carnoustie, represents a widely held belief that the situation needs to be resolved. A tournament representative from the old course urged that the hostilities endangering the future of the game that we all love must stop. To solve the problem, people must communicate with one another, but with none of the 3 sides ready to budge an inch, any chance of the rival leagues reaching a compromise seems distant, given that the legitimacy of the competition has been questioned since the first event was held in London in June. The possibility of a media agreement being signed to broadcast LIV Golf will give the Rebels a boost. Next up, it's not looking too good for LIV's Fox Sports deal. It appears that the broadcast agreement between LIV Golf and Fox Sports 1 isn't going as well as we thought it was. This week, Golf Week reported that an agreement between LIV Golf and Fox Sports 1 for the league's first U.S. television deal was almost finalized. The decision would be important given that organizations like NBC, CBS, Disney, Apple, and Amazon all rejected the controversial league. But by late Wednesday afternoon, criticism of that very report started to emerge. LIV Golf hit back, saying that recent media rights reports have been incomplete and far from accurate. They're contesting that they've surpassed expectations and are still ahead of the schedule in several areas, including broadcast rights. LIV Golf maintains that they're only starting their process and are in active conversations regarding broadcasting the league with a number of businesses. So, given that they're still in the middle of negotiations with multiple sources, they've cautioned news outlets against drawing any conclusions concerning prospective media rights. But hear this, according to sources, Fox Sports and LIV Golf haven't spoken in recent weeks. We don't know what to make of the conflicting news, but whether such a deal is still in the works is unknown. Apparently, LIV Golf will pay Fox for airtime rather than Fox paying for the media rights. That's how bad the situation is for them, eh? Strangely enough, Fox was initially one of the broadcasters that refused to collaborate with LIV Golf, but that changed when Fox Corp's executive chairman and CEO Lachlan Murdoch allegedly pressured the business to partner with LIV Golf. Now for more on the tournament's controversies. According to the rumored agreement, LIV Golf will also be in charge of selling commercial sponsorship and producing its tournament broadcast. If Fox continues to carry the league for a second season, it's believed that they've denied LIV Golf's request for a media rights fee, but the corporation will reevaluate network placement at a later point. The partnership's start date and whether it will cover any of the 3 remaining LIV Golf events in Thailand, Saudi Arabia, or at Trump Doral in Miami are unknown. The enormous interest in LIV Golf's media rights that CEO Greg Norman spoke about 2 weeks ago doesn't sound quite right, does it? Last week, Norman spent some time on Capitol Hill meeting with lawmakers to lobby in favor of LIV Golf in its conflict with the PGA Tour. The PGA is currently being looked at by the Justice Department for possible antitrust offenses, but after Rep. Tim Burchett referred to Norman's lobbying efforts as propaganda, Norman's initial encounters with conservative members didn't go well. Since the league's founding in 2021 and its first season in 2022, controversy has surrounded LIV Golf. That's because it's supported by the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia, which has been under fire from numerous human rights organizations around the world. The league has also been accused of sports washing by enticing some of the biggest golf stars in the world, which involves distracting from the horrors done by its financial sponsors with thrilling sporting events. Up next, players and sponsors are facing the brunt of the hostilities. LIV golfers are currently permitted to compete in DP World Tour events after the ban is lifted, pending further litigation. But members of the Saudi Arabia-sponsored series are indefinitely banned from participating in PGA Tour events. The DP World Tour event, the Alfred Dunhill Links Championship, will take place in St Andrews, Kingsbarns, Carnoustie, and will also feature 16 of his LIV golfers on the field. The power of sponsorship is evident, as Patrick Reed and Peter Hiss-Uline received sponsorship invitations for the Scottish event this week, despite Reed missing the last one due to back injuries. Sponsors have a hard task ahead to convince the PGA and LIV Golf to see eye to eye, as Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan has barred all players of the rival series from events in his series and deemed them ineligible to play in last week's President's Cup. And according to reports, this is what riled Rupert. Also, players who wanted to return to the American-based circuit wouldn't be permitted to. This is according to Monahan, who had previously ruled out any peace negotiations with LIV Golf. An antitrust lawsuit has been initiated against the PGA Tour, with a trial date set for January of 2024. It was originally filed by 11 LIV golfers, and then the series itself later joined, but now only 3 players remain on the case. It's worth noting that LIV Golf Chief Executive Greg Norman also appears uninterested in peace talks, as this week Norman attacked the PGA Tour and star Rory McIlroy of hypocrisy for disparaging his series and its members. We hope there's an end to this debacle soon. Now, in other news related to LIV Golf, first up, is Patrick Reed doing overtime? To deflect the talk of moving from the PGA Tour to LIV Golf for financial reasons, many players argued that the lighter workload was the reason they chose the fast-growing Saudi-funded league. But with his official world golf rankings slipping and his schedule vacant, Patrick Reed has announced his participation in one of the most profitable events on the DP World Tour. And with this, Reed will play for 5 consecutive weeks. Didn't he switch from PGA saying he hated the grind? He's actually playing more games this year compared to the last couple of years. Next, these players are removing themselves from the lawsuit. Phil Mickelson is one of a number of golfers who've dropped out of the LIV Golf lawsuit against the PGA Tour and its decision to suspend players who took part in the independent Saudi-sponsored tour. Other players who have removed their names include Ian Poulter, Taylor Gooch, and Hudson Swafford. Abraham Ancer, Carlos Ortiz, Pat Perez, and Jason Kokrak had already removed their names. This leaves just LIV Golf itself, along with Bryson DeChambeau, Matt Jones, and Peter Ulian as plaintiffs in the lawsuit. Finally, it's good money for the winners of LIV Golf. 5 players finished the LIV Golf Invitational Series stop near Chicago in last place, and for their efforts, they'll each take home a whopping $124,000. That's the selling point for the new series run by Greg Norman and funded by the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia. It's a 54-hole no-cut competition with enormous contracts and payouts. Cameron Smith, the winner of the series, got $4 million, which is bigger than any of his winning paydays lately, so he's a happy man. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think LIV Golf will be able to find its way out of all these controversies? Let us know in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.